Okay, magandang Miyerkules po ng hapon sa inyong lahat. At nako, ako po ay nagpapasalamat sapagkat magkakasama tayo uli, magkakwentuhan tuwing ganitong araw ng Miyerkules. Gusto ko munang batiin si Karanil Sorongon, si Doc Gina Manalaysay at ang iba pang mga nag-co-host. Alam po ninyo, sabi ko dito po sa Inklinasyon, lahat kami pwedeng host, lahat kami pwedeng writer, lahat pwedeng co-host. In other words, lahat lumalago dito po sa inklinasyon. Kasi nga, inclusive nga po ang ating inklinasyon. Ito po si DJ Ronnie. Kasama po ang buong pangkat ng inklinasyon. Siyempre, gusto ko rin batiin si Ma'am Celia at saka si Miss Mitch. No? Si Ma'am Celia, ang balita ko ay nasa Boston, Massachusetts. Aba, nagiging international na talaga ang inklinasyon. And of course, ngayon po dito sa ating dito sa amin sa Adelaide, so amin daw na nakapunta ka lang niya nakitira lang amin daw. Hindi, dito ang gusto ko lang ikwento bago tayo magpunta sa topic. Meron dito ngayon na Sir Dandy, my co-alumnus, future co-alumnus dito sa Australia. May Black Friday na kami, sir. Simula sa November 24, Black Friday na. Ano ba yung Black Friday? Ito yung nagiging baliw ang mga Australiano at mga international guests dahil sa talagang bagsak presyo ang mga bagay-bagay. At hindi gaya dyan sa atin sa Pilipinas, bagsak presyo pero hindi matino ang produkto. Dito sa Australia, bagsak presyo pero may size na pwede kang makuha. Diyan sa atin, nagsisale, laku, last stock na po ma'am, last size na po. Dito sa Australia, bawal yon. Pwedeng idemanda ang department store, ang tindahan, kung sila ay mga walang stock ng produkto. Ganon po nila nirerespeto ang consumers. Sana dumating din yung pagkakataon dyan sa Pilipinas na irespeto tayo ng mga negosyante natin. Hindi yung binibigay sa atin sale na tira-tira. At sale na ibinabalang ang, kunyari, 3 days before sale, mataas yung presyo. Pero yun naman talaga yung presyo pagdating ng sale. Marami silang paikot kasi napakaluwag pa ng regulation ng ating negosyo dyan sa Pilipinas. Sana naman dumating yung araw na talagang respetuhin ng mga negosyante ang consumers, ang Filipino consumers. Kasi tayo naman mga Pinoy, nagbabayad tayo ng tama basta ang serbisyo ay maayos at maganda. At ganyan din po ang nais ng ating International Day of Persons with Disabilities. At ang co-host ko po ngayong hapon ay dalawa. Isang kinikilalang bato at haligi na po sa hindi lang sa kababaihan kundi sa kababaihang may kapansanan. Isa sa pinakamahusay na dentista sa buong Pilipinas, Dr. Gina Manalaysay. Magandang hapon, Doc Gina.
Yes, magandang hapon po. Sobra ka naman, pinakamahusay na dentista.
Isa
Dito.
sa isa sa pinakamahusay na dentista sa Pilipinas.
Ganda ng
Oo.
tawa ni Sir Dandy, oh.
good, good
Magandang hapon po sa
afternoon, Doc
ating mga
Gina.
ka-inclinasyon. Yes,
Oo,
sir.
at
Magandang hapon po.
ipasok na rin natin ang isa sa pinakahaligi din ng ating sektor. Natutuwa ako
Yes.
dahil kasama rin natin siya. Kasama ko to sa Geneva. Kasama ko sa lahat ng laban natin sa advocacy, si Mr. Ranil Sorongon. Good afternoon, sir. Sir Ranil,
Good
good afternoon.
afternoon, DJ. Yan na pala yung boses ng taga-Adelaide.
Pasensya na at nako talagang malat tayo ngayon. But kahit ganon ay wala tayong magagawa. Talagang ganito na, pagtiyagaan mo na, sir. Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon sa ating tagapakinig. No? At salamat kay Sir Dandy. Siyempre, hindi yan makahindi sa atin pag in-invite
Oo
natin sa
naman.
intonasyon.
Oo naman. At bago natin siya tuluyang ipakilala, alam mo natutuwa ako, Sir Neil, Doc Gina, kasi isa sa pribilehiyo nating taga-inklinasyon, yung makakwentuhan itong ating mga nasa pamahalaan, mga kapwa ko, empleyado ng gobyerno. No? At pribilehiyo natin sa inklinasyon na nakausap natin si dating Executive Director Carmen Subiaga, dating Executive Director Eme Rojas, Executive Director Don Pradejas, At ngayong hapon na ito ay hindi pa nasisira ang tradisyon. At kahit anong critique natin, hindi naman tayo galit, no? Sa NCDA. At alam ito ng panauhin natin. Alam ito ng panauhin natin na hindi tayo kailanman nagalit sa NCDA at hinding-hindi tayo nagagalit sa NCDA. Mahal natin ang NCDA pero gusto nating mas makapaglingkod pa ang National Council on Disability Affairs. At ang kakausapin natin ngayon ay isa sa pinaka mahusay na empleyado ng National Council on Disability Affairs. Bukod sa siya ay mahusay, siya ay 22 anyos na sa NCDA at kumbaga parang sabay pala kami nitong pumasok sa gobyerno. Ako ay pumasok sa gobyerno 2001, baka siya ganun din. At hindi ako magtataka kung sa susunod na taon ay seso na o Career Executive Service Officer na rin ang kakausapin natin ngayong hapon. So para ipakilala ng tamang-tama ang ating mabunying panauhin ngayong hapon, galing po sa National Council on Disability Affairs, narito po si Doc Gina. Doc, go ahead please.
Yes, magandang hapon ulit. So, meron muna tayong video na ipapakita. Courtesy of NCDA. Miss Ina.
Okay, go ahead. Yes, Miss Ina.
I was very happy because I was able to fulfill one of the purpose of life, and that is to help others. Personal satisfaction, mahirap siyang express or i-measure, but nasa isip ko lang that I'll be able to give back with all the blessings that I have.
Yan, thank you
It's
very
very
much. Yan. Ngayon po, ang ating panauhin ay kagalang-galang na si Mr. Dandy Victa. Siya po ay ang Division Chief, Technical Cooperation Division or TCD ng National Council on Disability Affairs. So, siya po ay isang dedicated public servant at currently serving as the Division Chief of the Technical Cooperation Division again of the National Council on Disability Affairs. And simultaneously, nag-hold din po siya ng position of as officer in charge ng Executive Director 3. He brings a wealth of experience. Mayaman na po ang kanyang experience siya
Karanasan. Oh.
and expertise to his role. Sir Dandy is a proud alumnus of Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne. Pare-parehas palang taga Australia, where he learned his master's degree in entrepreneurship and innovation as a scholar. He has demonstrated a strong commitment to advancing the rights and well-being of individuals with disabilities through his 22 years po in serving the National Council on Disability Affairs. Ang kanya pong contribution extend beyond his public service role, as evidenced by his authored work such as Work at Home Entrepreneurship, a practical guide for Filipinos with disabilities. Mga ka-inclinasyon, let's welcome Sir Dandy Victa.
Okay, magandang hapon po, Mr. Dandy Victa. Sir Dandy, good afternoon.
Good afternoon po. I hope I'm loud and clear. And, first of all, nagpapasalamat po ako sa inclination for inviting the National Council on Disability Affairs to be part of the conversation. I'm really overwhelmed with your introduction because alam na meron kayong video presentation at the same time.
Yes.
Yung salitang pinakamahusay, parang hindi po ako nararapat doon sa salitang yun.
Yeah. And then kami naniniwala sa inklinasyon na isa ka sa isa ka sa mga mahuhusay na empleyado diyan sa NCDA, and you deserve the position of an OIC as of the moment. Pero bago yun, pwede balikan natin yung by the way, gusto ko munang i-acknowledge din ng NCDA kasi post tayo sa FB page ninyo sa NCDA. And nung panahon ni Executive Director Don Pradejas, ang kanyang commitment sa amin is every week ay cross-posted ang inclinasyon. Sana, Sir Dandy, ipagpatuloy mo yon sa iyong panunungkulan para naman mas marami tayong maabot na persons with disability sa ating bansa. Okay, balikan muna natin. Paano ka naging OIC at ito ba'y in-applyan mo? Ito ba'y paano nangyari? Please give us a short journey kung bakit nandiyan ka sa position mo ngayon, sir.
Okay. Siguro po, I started my government career in 1996 with the
Okay.
Department of Social Welfare and Development, National Capital Region. And I
Okay.
was involved in the implementation of livelihood programs under the Bureau of Women then, before I transferred to the National Council for the Welfare of Disabled Persons 22 years ago. And siguro I believe I'm the most senior in terms of occupying a position
Okay.
of that kind of some sort. And currently, I'm a career executive service eligible, SSH. And hindi ko po ako nag-apply. Siguro by seniority po, yun po yung kaya po ako ang temporarily an OIC executive director while waiting for the executive director that may be appointed by our good Secretary Rex Gatchalian and also the chairperson of the National Council on Disability Affairs.
Okay. So far, sir, ilan ang empleyado ngayon ng NCDA at ano ang kanilang ilan ang item, ilan ang casual, paano ba? Ilan ang empleyadong may kapansanan dyan ngayon sa NCDA?
We are currently 61 plantilla positions and
Okay.
may vacancy pa kami na halos kalahati but slowly we are filling it up. And
Okay.
sooner or later, by the end of the year, we'll be able to process all the vacant positions.
Ganong kabilis, ha?
Actually, medyo naantala nga po ng because nagkaroon din po kasi ng election ban. At the same time
Okay.
po, marami po talaga ang nagkaroon ng aging at inabot po ng retirement during the pandemic. So hindi naman din po ganun kaagad ma-process dahil isa lang naman po yung ating HR. So we are actually working all together to ensure na mapipilapan po namin yung aming current vacancies. So right now po, meron din po kasi kaming mga job orders or COS. So about, how would I say, we cannot exact the percentage, pero definitely we are more than 10% or almost 20% na persons with disabilities in the council right now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Isa sa tinatanong namin noon kay dating Deputy Executive Director Matli, bakit ikaw lang ang bulag na natanggap dyan sa NCDA? Ikaw lang ba ang bulag na may karapatang magkaroon ng trabaho dyan o talagang ikaw lang ang qualified? Ano sa pananaw mo, sir? Bakit ang karamihan wheelchair users or with physical disability? Bakit hindi nadagdagan si Matli sa NCDA?
Actually, hindi ko pa masasagot ng ng diretso kung bakit si former DEB Matli lang po ang blind. So far po ngayon, parang wala po kaming applicant ngayon right now dun sa
Walang
ba,
applicant.
I'm not really sure by that time. Pero ayun po, hindi ko po masasabi. Siguro kasi po competitive process naman siya. And yeah, I just don't know siguro. Kasi nung dumating po ako dito, nandito na siya during that time. Opo.
Okay. And of course, alam mo, correct me if I'm wrong, OIC, sir. Bukod kay Kate Fermin, the late Kate Fermin, ikaw ang tanging hindi person with disability na na-appoint as head of the agency dyan, sa NCDA since nag-start yan. Tama ba?
Meron pa po sila Attorney Dolphy Shelby. I think the last na hindi po person with disability na na-appoint was during the time of Attorney Dolphy Shelby. And then after din po, Mga sumunod na po ay si the late Ma'am Gigi Ruiz, and then Miss Carmen na po, Miss Carmen Subiaga, and
Right, oo. Pero
Sir
ano,
Emer, apo.
pinakamatagal si Kate Fermin, ano, di ba? Na hindi, naupo dyan na hindi person with disability. Tama ba?
I believe so po, pero hindi naman siya
Ah.
ganun katagal din.
Yeah, okay. Now, dahil humaharap tayo sa International Day of Persons with Disabilities, pero bago tayo magpunta doon, not unless mayroong concern si Karanil and si Doc Gina, please just bat in, Karanil, Doc Gina, please bat in kung if you feel like you want to you want to interject something. Sir, para po sa kapakanan uli ng sabi mo nga ng mga kabataan natin, ano ga po ang tatlong pangunahing tungkulin ng National Council on Disability Affairs? Kasi ang daming itinoto kasi NCDA, hindi naman natin trabaho yon. So para po sa mga kabataan po na nanonood at manonood nitong ating kwentuhang ito, ano ga ho yung tatlong pangunahing tungkulin ng National Council on Disability Affairs?
Siguro po mas maganda kung ipakilala ang National Council on Disability Affairs as a council. Kasi po ang council po ay binubuo po ng 13 line agencies ng government.
Opo.
Kasama po dito ang mga representatives po coming from post-oriented group, OPDs, and non-government organizations. Ang aming pong opisina ay secretariat po ng council. Ang isa sa pangunahing pong responsibilidad o mandato ng NCDA is to develop responsive policies for the promotion of the rights of persons with disabilities. The other one is coordinate the different programs and services of government agencies para to ensure aligned to the promotion of the rights of persons with disabilities. So that includes monitoring, evaluation, and primarily doon po nakatoka yung ang aming major final outcome po is improve coordination of these programs and services.
Okay,
So,
kung hindi mo po mamasain, Mr. OIC, sir, pwede ka pong doon tayo magtuon. We focus on the responsive policies. Sa loob po ng 45 taon, namalat na po ako sa katatanong sa inyo. Sa loob po ng 45 taon ng National Council on Disability Affairs at kalahati po noon ay kasama kayo. Ano po ang masasabi ninyong mga responsive policies na inugit ng NCDA na pinakikinabangan na po ng atin pong mahigit kumulang 3 milyong Pilipinong may kapansanan, sir?
Puro po, napakadami rin po ng mga policies na yan at mga batas na nga po yan, one of which is the Magna Carta of Persons with Disabilities,
Opo.
yung Batas Pambansa bilang 344, yung ating pong mga updates po dyan, kasama po dyan yung 20% discount, VAT exemption, yung pong mga features, priority lanes, na pinapatupad po ng ating mga pangunahing mga ahensya ng pamahalaan, yung pong accessible polling place, yung pong tumutulong po tayo sa iba't iba pang batas tulad nung sa sports for persons with disabilities. Napakarami po kasi po ang context ng disability ay lifespan development.
Tama,
So,
from womb
yeah.
to tomb. Ano,
Correct, sir. Correct po.
So,
yeah, Doc Gina, please go ahead.
Yes. Total na pag-uusapan na rin to, no? Alam naman natin, Sir Dandy, that ang ating BP 344 is may pagka-obsolete na. So, kailan ba natin ulit sisimulan ang pag-uusap tungkol doon sa ina-adapt na ba natin ang universal design?
Tama po yan po, actually na-brought up na rin po yan, universal design. And perhaps just to share with you, one of the instruction po under the Senate Committee under the leadership of Senator Amy Marcos is to consolidate na lahat ng mga batas, no, na dapat ma-update yung itong mga batas na to, and I think this is now ongoing and in the process, but this would take time kasi tama po kayo na napakatagal na po ng batas na ito at yung mga provisions po, no, yung ngipin hindi ganoon katalas para po pasunurin po yung ating mga ahensya o ng pamahalaan, at the same time the private sector. But more importantly is we should be able to document, no? Kasi sa ngayon po, no, ang tingin ko ang isa sa kakulangan ay yung pagkakaroon ng inventaryo ng lahat ng mga pasilidad ng ating pamahalaan. Ilan ba yon at ilan doon yung accessible o magagamit ng ating mga kapatid na may kapansanan. So yung pagkakaroon po ng repository ng mga impormasyon na yun ay critical. So during the time of the leadership of PB Don Cadenas, pinaprobahan po naman niya yung development po ng ating information system na magkaroon po ng sistema to capture this. But this is still in the process. And sooner or later, you will know that there is such an information system that will be coming up. Hopefully by next year, we will be able to show you a concrete information system na to determine how many buildings are accessible, saan sila, where you can actually go. So these are the things that we would like to pursue in the near future.
Okay.
Sir, sana po namin yan, no?
Maganda yan, Sir Dandy, no? But kami sa bahagi ng mga advocates, gusto naming susugan yung sinabi ni Senator Amy. Sabi ni Senator Amy, kayo ay apat na dekada na, sabi niya. Pero hanggang ngayon mukhang wala kayong dissenting datos na maipakita sa committee ito. What's your reaction to that, sir?
In a way, no, it's a correct assessment of in terms of data, but we are building those data, and sooner or later we'll be able to show you a complete, because of that guidance. Now we are working hard to ensure that these data will be available sooner than later, no? Kasi tama po yun kasi you will not be able to come up with a good planning if you don't have a real data that would speak for the real situation. And yun nga po yung binibuild natin. And hindi tayo makakarating doon sa pagkakaroon ng mga datos na yun kung wala tayong malinaw na sistema kung paano ika-capture yun. Hindi na po kasi uubra yung palista-lista lang na ilan dito, nag-conduct ng audit or inspection, pero wala ka namang paglalagyan. Kaya yung paulit-ulit na yun, despite the efforts, ay hindi nakaka-capture. Kaya po ang mandato sa Secretariat is to ensure that the system should be available to help our member agencies to capture this data. Dahil alam nyo naman po na talagang may ginagawa naman ang mga ahensya. Nga lang, these are bits and pieces that we need to consolidate so that we can come up with a comprehensive picture. Especially for the sector to appreciate after 40 years, ano nga ba nakarating ang ating advocacy for persons with disabilities.
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much for
DJ,
yes,
may
Karanit.
follow-up ako, no?
Yeah,
Kasi
please, Karanit.
I think
Please.
last month, no, we met with the representative of the UNCRC committee. No, he went here in the Philippines and we had a very short meeting, no. Ano kaya, Sir Dandy, no, ang mga roadblocks, no, ang mga hindrances, no? Bakit hindi tayo makagawa, no, ng maayos na data for persons with disabilities, no, especially, no, children with disabilities? Kasi, no, yung data patungkol sa mga batang may kapansanan, isa din yan, no, sa mga findings and recommendation, no, hindi lang sa CRPD committee kundi, no, sa CRC committee din. So tinanong niya ako. So gusto ko rin malaman, Dijeron, no, Doc Chika, at ating mga tagapakinig, ano yung mga roadblocks? No, bakit wala tayong maayos na data hanggang ngayon, lalo na sa mga batang may kapansanan? Sir?
Karanil, sugsugan ko lang yan kasi kagagaling ko lang din sa Social Watch Philippines na forum. At isa sa mga natackle nga dyan is yun nga, yung disaggregated data. 'Di ba? Kailangan disaggregated siya dahil diverse ang ating disability sector. So yun po Sir Dandy, kailan kaya natin maa-achieve nga yun or ano yung mga ginagawa nating pamamaraan?
So,
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Maraming salamat po doon sa mga tanong na yun. Napaka-importante po ng tanong na yun. First of all, I would like to give an overview of the challenges. One is on the definition of disability. In the Philippines, our definition is anchored on the impairment model. Meaning, sabi ng Magna Carta, alam ni Sir Ronel yan, na para ma-consider ka na meron kang disability, kailangan ikaw ay may impairment. Diba? Una, yung record of such impairment, you assess to have an impairment, and those recognized as having those impairment. Ngayon, sa international community po kasi, we have called the International Classification of Functioning. It's more focused on functional limitation.
Functional disability.
Yes, that's why the estimate of the WHO and World Bank is on the 15%, while our registry is more on the going 2% level. So yun yung ina-achieve. So one, that is the gap in terms of the definition. And as far as legal entitlement is concerned, that is anchored on our definition. So again, bakit yung data ay hiwa-hiwalay? Kasi nga, bawat ahensya gumagawa ng administrative data dahil ang ating pamahalaan ay nakabase sa mandato. At alam nyo rin naman, alam ni Caronel yan, sa pagdating sa persons with disabilities, among the vulnerable sector, among the marginalized sector, siya rin yung pinakahuli. Diba? Kasi kung kadalasan po, pagdating, real talk, pagdating sa mga agencies, isang tao lang yung naka-assign doon sa vulnerable sector. Nasa kanya yung gender, nasa kanya yung elderly, nasa kanya yung youth, nasa kanya rin yung persons with disabilities. At paggawaan na ng report, siya rin lahat yung mangungulekta ng report na yun. Ngayon, babalik tayo doon sa kahalagahan ng information system. If you are not using a good information system to capture this data, chances are we are putting this on paper, on an Excel sheet, and then later on, pag nagpalit ng mga tao, walang continuity, walang sustainability. Ang mabigat pa dyan, walang analysis ng data. So, we keep on capturing data, but we are not analyzing those data. As mentioned by you, there are 10 types of categories right now. We have children with disabilities, we have adult with disabilities, we have youth with disabilities, we have elderly with disabilities, pero walang assessment, walang analysis, more so walang disaggregation. Because the moment you disaggregate the data and you try to interpret those data as against the indicators ng inyong organizational outcome, that is the only time when data will have its own meaning. So I think yung hindrances is there is no clear plan on how to use the data.
Hindi ba sir magandang opportunity ngayon na sinabi mo na halos kalahati ng plantilla ninyo ay hindi napupunuan o mapupunuan, no? Hindi ba magandang oportunidad ito para humanap ng mga angkop na mga tao upang gumawa ng mandato ng konseho bilang isang dynamic at proactive na secretariat, sir?
Yan po yung ating gagawin at yan po yung kasalukuyan nating ginagawa sa tulong po ng ICT, ng Information Communication Technology, and the use of artificial intelligence. Now we will be able to have an interpretation of our existing data. Kasi right now, the registry has already, it's 1.3 million. So if we disaggregate that 1.3 million, 1.3 million has no meaning at all at this time. Pero kung gagamitin mo yan sa pension system, and 2,000 times 1.3 million times 24 months o 12 months, ay nagkakaroon ka na ng picture, di ba? Nagkakaroon na siya ng illustration. Magkano ba yung pondo na kakailanganin? And I think saan kukunin ito? Those are the things that we need. But more than that, marami pa po eh. Actually, I personally, my advocacy is more focused on the development of support services for persons with disabilities, because I keep on telling, we cannot talk about reasonable accommodation and accessibility if we do not have support services. Just like in Australia, no? Ito, alam ni Caronel ito.
Yeah.
Pagka lumapit ka sa kahit anong tanggapan, may available na support services, merong support officer kang pupuntahan. Lahat ng pangangailangan mo, pwede mong sabihin doon. In fact, hindi na nga nila tinitingnan kung ilan yung person with disability. Ang importante sa kanila, available yung services. And these are the challenges that we need to establish here in the country. Considering that we have already enough numbers, no? The numbers could speak for itself. So we encourage the private sector. In fact, under the Jakarta Declaration, isa sa target po doon is to galvanize the role of the private sector. And we believe the private sector can develop these support services in terms of products, in terms of services, in terms of programs that can be developed and availed by our persons with disabilities.
So you are saying, Mr. Oasis, sir, that one of the things that we can rely on you is to do the proper housekeeping. Matagal
Yes.
na eh. Matagal nang tinitingnan namin sa labas. Kami, mga taga-comment lang naman kami, di ba? Pero
Yes, sir.
naintindihan ko ang kalagayan ninyo, being me also in government, di ba? Eh, hindi man ako naniniwala doon na bawal i-criticize ang gobyerno. Hindi naman totoo yan. Dahil ang liwanag ng ang ating oath sa civil service, magsasalita ako laban, di ba? Sa katiwalian or magsasalita tayo para sa pag-unlad ng ating mga ahensya. No? So hindi yun kasalanan na sinisiraan mo yung gobyerno, taga-gobyerno ka. Hindi yun ang mentalidad ko eh. Ako sa akin, sinasabi ko na ang number one violator ng accessibility law sa Pilipinas ay ang gobyerno mismo ng Pilipinas, both local and national. No? Yan eh
Yes.
ako.
Jeron, siguro bago tayo talaga mag-proceed no sa
if I may just finish Karanil yung point, no. Naniniwala kami sa Sir Dandy sa iyo na at tama yung direction mo that you do the proper housekeeping, and that is the way for the secretariat to be responsive and proactive. And I thank you because you are recognizing the fact that it is about time to do the right thing after 45 years. Thank you very much, Sir Dandy. Go ahead, Karanil.
Yeah, palagi din natin to tinatanong no kahit saan tayo ng mga forum no. Marami kasi sa mga duty bearers natin no, di Jeron, yung sinasabi, yung mga plano, di ba? Lahat ng mga plano magaganda. Pero kung natandaan mo, no, isa sa mga forum sa OGP na makasama tayo doon, ang palaging tanong ko, may timeline ba? Hanggang kailan? No? Kasi kung minsan lahat mga sinasabi ng ating mga duty bearers, pero pagkatapos ng kanilang mga termino, ganun pa rin no ang nangyayari. Diba tulad ni Jeron no, natapos lang yung termino ni dating Secretary Briones, may nangyari ba sa ating pakikipagdialogo sa DepEd? So at ganito din yung tanong ko kay Sir Dande no. Ayon doon sa mga sinasabi mo, may konkreto ba na timeline? No, may monitoring system ba no na after this number of months, this number of years no, mapakita no yung result o ang output no ng sinasabi natin ng mga plano, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that question. In fact, we have a directive from USEC Emeline Aglipay Villar, presenting Secretary Rex Gatchalian, to develop the NCDA strategic plan. This is a 5-year plan which will be aligned with the Marcos administration. Other than that, we are currently developing a result-based framework which will help the Secretariat to make an analysis of the results of the implementation of different programs and services by the member agencies. So expect, sir, that by next year we will have that result-based framework and information system. And by next year, we will be able to present the 5-year development plan for the NCDA as a duty bearer and the lead agency and monitor of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, not to mention the upcoming updates on the National Human Rights Action Plan headed by the Presidential Human Rights Committee. That includes our obligations under the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, where we have already submitted our second and third report just this year. So in as much as we would like to do, we would like to be as transparent as we can. And we envision to have more consultative dialogue with the sector. And yun po yung ini-envision natin so that lahat po ng ginagawa ng NCDA ay dapat kabahagi ang sektor ng may kapansanan through the organizations of persons with disabilities. And yan po yung sinisikap natin, pagsisikapan natin. At gaya po ng sinabi ni Sir Ronel, we encourage constructive criticism so that we'll be able to improve our delivery of our mandate. So we consider, just like in entrepreneurship, we consider complaints as a blessing so that it would be a good opportunity for us to improve. So hindi naman natin talaga maiiwasan yan eh. But at the end of the day, our objective is to ensure that our clients are happy and satisfied of the things that we are doing. Kung hindi man, at least alam namin kung saang area kami dapat mag-improve at aming ipinagpapasalamat na merong mga ganoon na pagpuna kasi makakatulong po yun na ma-improve namin kasi mahirap naman yung walang pumupuna. Kaya baka akala namin tama lahat yung ginagawa namin. So again, maraming salamat po sa mga ganitong pagkakataon kaya.
Yeah, Karanil and Caronel. Sana Sir
go.
Danny maimbita yung inclinasyon para direct knowledge ang makukuha natin or direct info at mai-air natin 'yon, 'di ba?
Yeah, one of the things, Sir Dandy, na request namin kay Executive Paradehas dati, no. Yung kasi every week, beginning January, magkakaroon tayo ng Inklo Balita, no. Dito i-feature namin yung mga balita sa organisasyon, private organizations, and NGOs, at sana yung NCDA will send us weekly press releases. Anong nangyayari? Anong nangyayari sa And
maganda po siguro magkaroon tayo ng memorandum of understanding para pagka magkaroon man po ng mga changes sa leadership, meron po tayong existing at para tuloy-tuloy lang po yung pagbibigay ng balita sapagkat para sa amin napakalaking tulong po ito, oportunidad na yung pong ginagawa po ng NCDA sa kabuuan including the member agencies ay maibarating kasi hindi lang naman po ang NCDA yung secretariat. Ang NCDA po yung kabuuan po ng mga ahensya po. And I'm sure marami po silang ginagawa na hindi nalalaman pa ng ating ibang mga kababayan.
Right. And ito pong ginawa na ninyo na pag-cross-post sa amin sa Inclinasyon ay this is one of the right steps towards a transparent and accountable leadership. And we are appealing to Miss being your point person to coordinate with us para sa cross-posting. And sana beginning January, maging regular po yung releases ninyo sa amin kahit twice a month. At wala po kaming sinisingil, wala po kaming hinahanap na kapalit, kung hindi yung mga balitang ginagawa po ng NCDA at ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas para po sa persons with disabilities. At ang panawagan din po namin kay Yusek Villar through this program and through you, sir, sana pag-aralan ninyo kasi yung posisyon ng Executive Director ng NCDA, that's a very critical position. Huwag nating ipamigay kasi basta-basta ibinababa yung posisyon. Hindi ko kasi pwedeng kung sino na lang yung kunin ng kung sinong Poncio Pilato na lang iupo. Wala po ko sinasabi, but the point is, kaya nga may civil service parameters para naman yung mga taong nagsisikap. Alam po nyo, ang mga may kapansanan, Sir Dandy, bago makatapos ng isang kolehiyo, triple ang gastos kaysa sa taong walang kapansanan. Pagkatapos mo makatapos ng pag-aaral, inaasahan mo yung gobyerno, kailangan mo pa rin may kakilala ka. So kung dyan po sa DSWD, uso pa rin yung ganyang sikuhan, sana po si Yusek Villar at si Secretary Gatchalian ay tigilan na po yan. Kayo sana ang manguna para ibalik natin yung merit system at unahin po ninyo yung executive level position ng NCDA. Tingnan ninyo, yung mga ina-appoint ninyo, karapat-dapat ba, kwalipikado ba, at may alam ba sa ginagawa. Kasi sabi nga po ni Senator Amy Marcos, 4 na dekada na wala pang disenteng datos. Although, masyadong sweeping naman yun at taga-gobyerno, masakit po yun. Ano? But coming from a senator, from a point of view of the senator, ang sinasabi lang po doon, Secretary Gatchalian, Yusek Villar, ay kailangan pong pag-aralan ninyo, kayong nasa itaas. Kayo ho ang dapat makaalam kung sino dapat ang iuupo ninyo sa nakarapat-dapat sa isang konseho ng titing ng trabaho ay pangbuong Pilipinas. Maraming salamat, Sir Dandy. And punta ho tayo sa International Day of the Disabled, no? Gaano po tayo, sir, kung ikukumpara po tayo, sir, kahit sa ASEAN muna, Mr. OIC, Sir Dandy, gaano po tayo, kung kayo po ang tatanungin at ang records ng ating konseho, gaano po tayo ka-competitive sa ating po mga kalapit na bansa, Mr. Dandy, Sir Dandy? Competitive or, yes, opo.
Mag-react lang po ako doon sa una po, no? I believe ginagawa po ng ating mahal na secretary at ng ating Undersecretary Yusek Villar yung karapat-dapat po na proseso, kaya nga po tinitingnan nilang mabuti na ang kanilang ilalagay po ay una katanggap-tanggap din po sa sektor at yung merong kakayahan po na itaguyod po ang ating secretariat, and definitely it will be definitely they will use the merit system, no? Kailangan nga lang po may mga ayusin po administratively within the agency. Now, as far as the SDGs po are concerned, no, in terms of comparability, I believe that the Philippines is doing its best to contribute, no? Kasi ang title po ngayon ang theme po ng International Day is to actually rescue and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Bagamat marami tayong advancement, no, katulad ng Inclusive Education Act, no, which is basically aligned, I think, into Goal 4 of the Sustainable Development Agenda.
Right,
meron tayong mga challenges in terms of delivery, kasi babalik na naman ako doon sa availability ng support services. Kasi nga kahit na ang word natin ay inclusive, pero yung mga serbisyo na kailangan ng mga learners with disabilities ay kulang, they may not be able to access to quality reference materials, quality books, no? Kasi kailangan talaga magkaroon ng malinaw na standard pagdating po doon sa mga learning materials. Yan nga yung tinatawag nating accessible learning materials, specifically for people with print disabilities as well as other types of disabilities. In terms of employment, alam niyo naman na mayroon na tayong mga batas, katulad ng PDAULO, yung 1%. Pero in terms of implementation, kailangan talagang pagbutihin natin na magkaroon ng access yung mga persons with disabilities. Kasi paano mo mapupunan yung 1% per government kung karamihan ng persons with disabilities hindi makapasa sa civil service exam. So I think those are the things that we need to address systematically, no? Kasi systems ang issue dito, hindi to bits and pieces, no? Hindi to pwedeng simpleng reasonable accommodation lang. Kailangan holistic yung approach, kasi this would come from education up to the application to the position up to the working condition. So may mga ganun tayo na and these are the things that we need to address, kasi ang bottom line ng sustainable development goals is quality. No, not just availability of the opportunity, but were you able to access? And once you access, were you able to experience a quality and accessible service for person? I'm sure you can relate, Sir Ronel, no? Again, comparing Australia's experience. Yun siguro,
Sir. Before that, Sir Dandy, hindi siguro tamang, with all due respect, hindi siguro pwedeng sabing simpleng reasonable accommodation. Kasi when we use the term reasonable accommodation, it should live up to the meaning of the phrase, no? When you say reasonable accommodation, maliwanag naman ang parametro diyan, ay hindi ito makakabigat sa magkabilang panig at pakikinabangan yon ng binibigyan ng reasonable accommodation. So
Correct, sir.
walang simpleng reasonable accommodation. But there are ways to economize yet beneficial to the user, no, to the beneficiary. Now, let's start with the data. Sabi mo sa education, you're correct na nagpapatuloy yung inclusive education at isa yan sa milestone ng partnership ng NCDA at ng advocate groups tulad ng INET, Northfield, Save the Children at yung Philippine Coalition ng UNCRPD. Ang Inclusive Act ay isa sa magandang ebidensya na pag nagtuwang tunay na partnership, may nabubuong tulad ng Inclusive Education Act. At nako, ang sabi ni Senator Gatchalian, pinakamahabang naging public hearing ang inclusive education dahil talagang inayay at napakaraming concern na nabuksan doon. Ngayon, ang importante nito ay yung pagpapatupad, ano? Kasi pagka nawala ng saysay yung batas for compliance sake, unang-una mali yung tinitingnan nilang halimbawa yung Inclusive Education Center daw gagayahin yung isang lugar sa atin na nagpagawa ng Education Inclusive Learning Center ang halaga 30 million. Definitely hindi kakayanin yun ng ating sistema sa ngayon, ano? So ano ang role ng NCDA para yung Inclusive Education Act ay maipatupad sa baba ng naaayon sa intensyon at spirito ng batas, Sir Dandy?
Well, I think ang pinaka-primary ngayon is since nag-i-start ang implementation is to monitor. To monitor whether the goals and objectives of the law will be implemented. And I think to start the monitoring is to come up with key indicators of what to monitor. Kasi yan dyan nagsisimula yung mga indicators na kailangan natin. This will not be able to assess without establishing a clear indicator. And then from there, we can come up with activities or remedies or modifications that would be necessary later on. Pero
actually si Atty. Rhea can testify na as of this point nasa IRR pa lang ang ginagawa, and gusto ko i-recognize na si Atty. Rhea is consistent in her presence doon sa mga information dissemination ng DepEd at saka ang INED Philippines at saka ang Philippine Coalition ay consistent na present doon sa information dissemination ng DepEd. At tingin ko magtuloy-tuloy lang ang tulungan at ang konsultasyon, wala na mapipikon, ay di napakaganda ng magiging takbo. Tama ba yon, Sir Dandy?
Ako, maraming salamat po for recognizing Atty. Rhea as the representative of NCDA. We are all passionate with this particular law, and we will ensure that up to the end, up to the implementation part, up to the monitoring, up to the evaluation part, NCDA would be part of the entire activity. And since DepEd is a member of the council, so we will be able to somehow influence and update them of the feedback of the sector every time that there will be reporting, because periodic reporting is essential for the monitoring, and that vice versa, the feedback of the sector would be able to reach them so that in the process of implementation, adjustments can be made. Of course, wala namang perfect na implementation. There is no perfect law. There is no perfect system. Ang importante is we are all willing to make the adjustments and the modification in the process of implementation. And as mentioned by you, sabi nga, walang mapipikon, tuloy-tuloy lang, and sama-sama tayong makarating doon sa hinahanap nating na success. Especially
Sir Dandy, Sir Dandy, maikli lang kasi ang isa sa pinaka-left behind sectors ngayon, sa ngayon, yung deaf community. At ang isang breakthrough na nagawa namin ni Atty. Rhea, sana natatandaan niya, doon sa isa sa mga session sa DepEd, ay pumayag ang TESDA na magawa ng certification, magkaroon ng training regulation so that in the future, yung mga sign language interpreter are qualified interpreters na may NC2, recognized ng TESDA, so that maayos na rin natin yung rates sign language interpreters, no? Kasi ngayon kanya-kanyang bigay ng rate, kanya-kanyang alam ng qualification, no? At nag-commit ang TESDA sa amin na willing silang mag-convene ng isang committee para pag-aralan kasi ang may mandato niyan TESDA, Sir Dandy. So kung pwedeng ma-follow up mo at isa sa mga magiging parang milestone under your leadership ay yung pagsisimula at pagkakaroon ng training regulation so that yung ating mga sign language interpreter ay magkakaroon ng NC2 certification.
Okay, tama po yan. Actually, ang mandated po kasi under the law is the Commission ng Wikang Filipino or the Commission on the Filipino Language. But for,
With all due respect,
for
sir,
for the
with all
training,
due respect,
for
for
the
the training.
for the training,
Pero
it's definitely TESDA. So
Yeah,
ang gusto
yeah,
ko lang
right,
sabihin,
right.
sir, that there should
Oo.
be a connection between the Commission ng Wikang
Yun,
Filipino
and TESDA.
and TESDA.
And
Because
TESDA.
the bottom line is we need to standardize
Right,
the
right,
interpretation of the
right,
Filipino Sign Language. Yun po
right.
kasi talaga yung dapat ma-achieve natin or magkaroon din ng lumawak yung mga interpreters natin at the same time siguro mas standardize din yung cost and fees kasi syempre marami din po yung nagpapahayag na medyo may kamahalan yung interpretation. It's because it's the law of supply and demand. So
Tama 'yon, tama 'yon. At saka sir, meron na tayong text to sign language. Why don't we pursue that aspect also?
sige
Kasi
sir,
tayo na
maganda po
lang
yan.
ang wala. Tayo na lang ang wala. Ang Thailand meron, ang
Yeah.
Vietnam meron, ang Indonesia meron. So ang Pilipinas, I think we should pilot. We should start at least in Metro Manila, Cebu, Baguio, major cities in the Philippines. We should start the text to sign facilities, sir.
Yes sir.
Ron, may
Yes,
nag-iisang
Karanil.
tanong, no, galing sa ating tagapakinig. Pwede ko ba
Please.
basahin?
Please sir, please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, Sir Dandy. If you will be given a chance to become the executive director of the council, what do you think is the best solution or solutions or maybe innovations that will address the many needs of persons with disabilities in the Philippines?
Ano po yan, pang Miss Universe po yung tanong.
Sir Dandy, binasa ko lang to walang nagtatanong dito, first time lang to na nagpadala, kaya binasa ko talaga, Teacher Ron.
Napakahirap po nung tanong but it all centers to the data of persons with disabilities. And I'm a believer, disability is a cross-cutting issue and we see ICT as a cross-cutting solution. But of course, it is not a one-stop solution for all. Ang pinaka-importante siguro as far as the organizational performance of an organization, of our agency, is to ensure that the quality of the service that we are providing is acceptable to persons with disabilities. Of course, marami talaga yung need, from buong tutum nga, dahil developmental po yung concern. Pero ang bottom line, will you be able to make all happy and satisfied with all the programs? Ang importante, it's all available and ensure that accessibility is how would I say that accessibility is present in the country, and more than accessibility, you can be able to use yung mga facilities. Yung ating mga persons with disabilities would be able to access these programs and services at on demand, no? Yung available siya palagi. Kasi ang challenge ng persons with disabilities is paglabas pa lang ng bahay niya, may issue sa
Nandun na ang problema.
Oo, nandun na agad. In fact, yung iba nasa bahay yung problema. So yung mga ganun, medyo talagang very challenging. Pero, yeah.
Sabi mo na pag-usap, nasa bahay ang problema. How ready is your bahay to receive the data, to keep the data? Kasi parang wala, di ba? I mean, sorry kung yun ang impression na nabuo galing doon sa hearing ni Senator Amy Marcos. Gaano kahanda ngayon o gaano mo inihahanda ang ating bahay sa NCDA para ma-accommodate itong mga magagandang pangitain mo at gaano ka ready ang facilities, ilang buwan, ilang taon bago tayo maka-adapt at least sa teknolohiya, sir.
I think by the early 2 quarters of 2024, the information systems will be available. And mahirap kasi ikwento lang mas maganda yung may nakikita
Sige lang,
na.
oo, tama, tama, tama.
Ako yung tao na gusto ko maipapakita na ako kaysa sa ikikwento ko lang, no. But just to give you a preview, we have an information system strategic plan that would support the major activities and projects of NCBA that would include
Okay.
basically data collection. So yung data collection na to ay hindi basta simpleng data collection lang, kundi yung ginagawa ng mga member agencies will be part of it in terms of access audit. Magkakaroon tayo ng repository ng mga ino-audit nila. Ano ba yung in-audit nila? Accessible ba yun o hindi? Kung hindi, makikita nyo rin. Kasi di po ba, ang sinasabi ng Batas Pambansa bilang 344, dapat may mga pictures ang isang building. So, ang profile po ng building, dapat alam ng persons with disabilities para alam din niya kung ano yung feature na nandun at yung ba ay accessible o hindi. Hindi po ang context po kasi ng audit natin ngayon ay in-audit mo ngayon na meron kang listahan pero hindi alam ng publiko kung alin yung na-audit mo. So,
Tama.
yan ang gusto natin na maipakita na yung ino-audit, yung ini-inspect, makita ng publiko nasaan ba siya, pupunta ba siya doon o hindi. Mga
So, sir,
ganun,
is it safe to say that you are opening a quarterly conversation with Inclinasyon at
Ay,
least one of the, di ba?
yes po, magandang opportunity for us po na
Kung hindi man ikaw, of course, you're a busy person because of your present position. We know that. Your point person who will give us an answer to
Yes, sir.
specific, no? For example, employment. Pag-usapan natin ang sandali employment. Ano ba ang tayo ng dito sa Australia, maliwanag na 50% ng mga may kapansanan may trabaho, whereas 90% ng walang kapansanan may trabaho. Diyan sa atin sa Pilipinas, ano ba ang statistics ng empleyo ng mga may kapansanan? Ilan ang na-record ninyo na negosyo na pinatatakbo ng may kapansanan at ilan ang mga may kapansanang empleyo sa formal setup, private or public, sir?
Yan po ang ating pagsisikapan na makolekta ngayon. May mga datos po ang Department of Labor, ang Civil Service Commission, pero kailangan po kasi itong datos na to should be interpreted in such a way na magkakaroon ng kahulugan. Kasi halimbawa po, in 2016, sasabihin lang natin, there are 7,100 plus
Correct.
persons with disabilities in the government. So, what's the meaning of that, di ba? So, dapat merong kasing meaning yung datos na ipinipresenta natin para magkaroon po ng kahulugan sa sektor at magkaroon din po ng direction na ano po ba yung dapat nating ma-achieve in the future. Ang mapapansin po natin ngayon, sinasabi lang natin kung ilan. Pero dapat meron pong pinagbabanggaan na mga indicators. And yes, it's true, it's a challenge that we need to collect those, lalo na yung ilang bang may kapansanan ang may mga negosyo sa ngayon, so both in the formal and in the self-employment sector. Hindi kito kayo masasagot right away, pero yan po yung mga areas na dapat tutukan ng NCBA as a secretariat to help our member agencies. Yes po.
Yeah.
Tama po
Kaya
yun.
Dijeron.
Karanil, we first Doc Gina and then you. Doc Gina, please.
Yeah, hindi lang. Maiba naman ako yung sa problema natin sa PIDAW. Ano ang
Teka. Doc Gina, before the PIDAW, Karanil, you're saying related.
Yes?
Karanil, go.
Okay. Kaya nga, Dijeron, tulungan natin ang NCDA, kasi kami, ang Northfield, may mga researches kami na ginagawa, baka din, mapatuloy din ng NCDA yung gumawa talaga ng mga researches para evidence-based, So speaking about employment, I don't know, may data ba ang NCDA on the employment of persons with Down syndrome? Ano bang determinants para ma-employ sila? So actually, we will be printing the result of our research study on the determinants of employability of persons with Down syndrome. And then DJ, we will be sending a copy to NCDA about our research kasi hindi pa nila nagawa, so tutulong muna tayo para mabigyan sila ng information at sana DJ Sir Dandy ma-invite ang Norfield, no, doon sa subcommittee on employment ba yon, Di Jeron? Sinabi mo sa
Oo,
akin.
oo. Yeah, oo, oo. Oh,
Yun lang, Di Jeron.
thank you, Sir Dandy. Yeah, I think it's a legitimate concern, no, na dapat sana yung subcommittees, isa yon sa napakagandang venue sana. Kung namomotivate ng secretary at yung mga members ng committee na magkaroon ng substantial meetings, kasi hindi pupunta yung mga direktor na gusto nating pumunta tsaka undersecretaries ASEC kung walang substantial mga meetings natin sa committee. So sana yun ang isa din sa pagtuunan ng pansin, sir.
Yes po, we actually welcome yung mga researches kasi kailangan po natin yan. We need to have a baseline, an evidence-based researches. So, kung ako tatanungin nyo, mas talagang kailangan natin mag-research at makatulong po sa amin yan, lalo na for specific type of
Okay.
disability.
Right. Okay, another arm aside from Norfield and the NGOs, yung PIDAW na sinasabi ni Doc Gina. Doc Gina, go ahead please.
DJ, nawala si Duchina.
Yeah, pero
No, hindi naman. Nandito pa rin ako.
Ayan, bumalik na,
sige.
bumalik na.
Yeah, hindi
Go
nga
ahead,
yung
Doc Gina.
yung sa PIDAW, alam natin marami itong problema. So ano ba yung mga steps na gagawin din po ng ating council?
Okay po, with regard to PIDAW, currently what NCBA is doing is we are providing free civil service review for those PIDAW officers na walang eligibility kasi kailangan nila na magkaroon ng eligibility para ma-appoint ng regular sa position. Other than that is we have already talked with the Civil Service Commission to come up with an alternative eligibility for PIDAW officers and staff. But it would take some time because what Civil Service Commission is asking is for us to come up with a complete research and a proposal for an alternative eligibility, meaning benchmarking in Southeast Asia or any country that is actually doing such. No? Australia has an affirmative action. We just talked with Australian embassy a while ago in the morning. And may mga ganong model. So kailangan natin ma-resolve yun. Now, in terms of implementation, yan po yung isa sa challenge, no? But we need to actually see ilan ba talaga yung meron na mga ordinansa. And ma-set aside din yung mga, ang sabi nga nila, pidaw-pidawan, meaning nandun lang for the purpose of compliance to the requirement of the DILG. So, meron na kaming datos ngayon yan and we are sorting it out and we are including that in our information system. And hopefully by the first quarter of next year we will have a complete picture, and we want to have partnership with the Department of Interior and Local Government as our member agency and help them on how to effectively monitor and call the attention, of course, of our local chief executives to create and comply with the law. So yan naman po yung requirement talaga. So
yeah, Sir Dandy, ang law, walang sinasabing regular ang PIDAW officer, di ba? Kasi nung binabalang kasi ang PIDAW na yan, nandoon yung ULAP yung Samahan ng Local Authority of the Philippines, ayaw ng local government officials na hindi nila hawak yung kanilang ina-appoint. Kaya maraming mga nangyayari sa local government na halimbawa, nagbago ng administrasyon, hindi kasangga ni mayor o ni governor yung department head. Yung department head, idini-detail sa iba at ang inilalagay doon, yung gusto niya, yung tao niya. No? Kaya doon sa pagbabalangkas, alam niya ni Matt Lee, ni Deputy Executive Director Matt Lee, na sa original law, wala naman yung permanency ng PIDAW o as an officer. Ang may permanency, yung assistant PIDAW at saka yung 3 staff. Bakit? Kasi dapat magpatuloy yung bureaucracy sa local government. At itong nangyaring ito, simula nung pinayagan ng NCDA na ang IRR ay gawing permanent, yung PIDAW office, yung PIDAW as a permanent position hanggang salary grade 24 pa nga ginawa ninyo, ang ebidensya ay nagpapakita na yung nung makuha nung mga naging permanent PIDAW, yung posisyon, nalimutan ng sektor at hindi na nagtrabaho ang inasikaso yung pagsipsip doon sa kanyang superior para siya magdire-diretso ng promotion. Yan, may ebidensya sa local. Meron ng sapat na ebidensya, Sir Dandy. 2015 yan, 2023 ngayon, tamang panahon para tingnan ng NCDA ano ba ang effectiveness. Tama ba na itulak yung pagiging permanent ng PDAW officer o dapat manatili yung utang na loob ng PDAW officer sa assembly ng persons with disabilities?
Yan po. We will look into that po, no, Sir Ronel. At the system is currently under development, and we will consider po yung mga binanggit ninyo kasi lalabas naman po yan doon sa analysis na kung ano ba talaga yung status at kung sinagaya nga ng sinasabi ninyo based doon sa mga experiences ng ating mga PDAW, persons with disabilities, that will be part of the consideration. But as far as the monitoring is concerned, it's the Department of Interior and Local Government who's the primary mandate to
Apo.
monitor. And of course, with the mechanisms at hand, gaya po ng mga pagkakataon na ganito na nakakadaon pagpalad po namin kayo, we will be able to articulate these concerns and be part of that particular analysis and study.
Alright. Sir, dahil naubusan na po tayo ng oras, punta po tayo dun sa meat of the discussion. Yes,
Jeron,
Caroline.
alas 4:05
Yes.
na ha. Reminder
Yeah.
from JM.
Okay, yeah. Correct. Sir Dan, the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, ano pong mga gawain ng nakatakda na dapat tingnan ng ating sektor sa International Day of Persons with Disabilities sa NCDA?
Yeah, so side po ng NCDA, we will have an annual recognition program as directed by the NCDA board to recognize exemplary persons with disabilities. Yun po magkakaroon po tayo niyan. That would be the highlight of our activity this coming December 3.
Oh, can you please tell us this extra special award for persons with
Exemplary award.
exemplary award, yes. Go ahead, please.
And that is for employee with disability, for government employees.
Okay.
We have also employees coming from the private sector, and then women with disabilities, and then athletes with disabilities, and youth with disabilities. So, yan po yung meron na po tayong aning category na naka-line up for this one, and we have tapos na po actually yung nomination, and we have
Uy, Jeron, sana i-dominate ko pa si Doc Gina. Sayang naman, oh.
Sabi ko dun sa mapili, nominate eh.
Hindi bale,
Next year na lang, Doc Gina. Ang handa natin. Si Teacher Aisel, nominate din natin. Kasi yung mga disabilities, si Teacher Aisel, volunteer din to eh. Marami tayong nominate. Jeron, ibitahin natin yung NCDA. I think six months before para ipamahagi natin ang impormasyon na meron palang call for nomination.
Paano nga ba pinili yung mga winners na yan? Paano nga ba pinili yan, Sir Dandy?
Of course, meron po tayong timelines ng pagsasubmit ng nomination, and yung pinaka-last po niyan is on November 15. And the process po is there's a scoring system. But more importantly po, we invited representatives coming from the Philippine Commission on Women, the Department of Labor, to be part of the process para po yung scoring dito ay objective and at the same time transparent corresponds to the criteria of the awards.
Kailan ang awards night at ilan ang winners? At ano ang mapapanalunan, sir?
Yes! Excited kami, malaman.
It will be on December 3, and there will be 6 winners only.
Saan gagawin ang awarding? Saan?
It will be at the Camp Aguinaldo.
Camp Aguinaldo, okay. Anong oras po?
Anong oras nga ba yan? Lunchtime to po. So, yeah, 12. I'm not mistaken that will be about 12 to 3 or 4 p.m.
Yeah. Jeron, imbitahin natin dito sa Intonasyon yung mga nanalo. Diba?
Oo, Sir Dandy, pwede bang after the awarding, pwede bang sila maging guest? Isa maging guest natin dito.
We will inform them that you are inviting them to be part of your series of interviews.
All right.
Yeah.
On that note, Sir Dandy, dahil wala tayong oras na, but gusto ko lang i-recap yung tatlong mahalagang commitment mo sa inklusyon, hindi naman sa amin yon, but to the Filipino persons with disability through inklusyon. Number one is, sabi mo, you're open and willing to do this every quarter, parang kwentuhan with inklusyon, with your focal person or you, if time permits. Number two, you're gonna send us press releases every week so that kayo isa sa mga features namin sa Inklo Balita at no cost to the agency, di ba? And then number three is you will going to be one of the focal network of Inklusyon, in as much as broadcasting this through your media, Facebook, your YouTube channel and everything. And we thank you for that, Sir Dandy. At ngayon pa lang, sa ngalan ng Inklusyon, nagpapasalamat kami. We were recognized by Mabini Awards last July as the first in Asia of this sort, yung forum na ganito. And natutuwa kami at pinagmamalaki namin ng NCDA ay kabahagi ng Inklusyon simula ng Inklusyon. So what's your message to the Filipinos with disabilities ngayong International Day of Persons with Disabilities?
Unang-una po sa lahat, maraming salamat po muli sa Inklusyon sa pagbibigay sa amin ng pagkakataon na makabahagi sa pag-uusap at makapag-update po kung ano po yung kasalukuyang kaganapan po at sa mga ginagawa po ng NCDA. As far as sustainable development goal is concerned, umasa po kayo na gagawin po natin ang lahat para po matugunan yung obligasyon po ng Estado sa sustainable development, sa SDG, at the same time sa Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. May malinaw naman po na mandato, may mga indicators po na dapat gawin at ito po ang aming gagawin. Ang pinaka-importante po siguro na dapat na maisagawa rin ng NCDA is maging transparent kami kung ano ba yung ginagawa, at sa pamamagitan po ng programa ng inklusyon, may babahagi po namin sa inyo kung ano po yung mga updates na kasalukuyang ginagawa po ng NCDA para maiparating po sa inyo, and vice versa. Kung mayroon din kayong mga concern ng nais ng tugunan ng NCDA at ng kanyang mga member agencies, magiging pagkakataon po itong platform po na ito na may pagpatuloy po natin yung ating pag-uusap. Muli, maraming salamat po.
Mr. Dandy Victa, ang OIC
Thank you.
po ng National Council on Disability Affairs, at napakasarap pag nagsasalita, I rose from the ranks, no? Kasi alam niya ang kanyang sinasabi. Mr. Dandy Victa, the privilege is ours, and before we end the program, ito po muna yung mga acknowledgements namin na dapat pasalamatan. JM?
We would
Okay.
like to thank our sponsors and partners, CBM Global Disability Inclusion, Philippine Coalition United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities or PCUNCRPD, ENET Philippines, Norfield Foundation, CISO, Philippine Partnership on Children with Disabilities or PPCWD, Liliane Funds, Deafblind Support Philippines or DBSP, Philippine Chamber of Massage Industries for the Visually Impaired or PCMIVI, Provincial Government of Batangas, PIDAO Pangasinan, Regional Associations of Women with Disability or RAWWD Region 1, Mabini Movement, and of course, the ASEAN Enabling Master Plan 2025 Coalition. Thank you.
Thank you very much at maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat.
Caronel, meron pa
Yes.
tayong public announcement.
Oh, please go ahead, ma'am.
Caronel, yung iyong draw disability contest. Tapos na
Maraming
ito.
salamat for reminding us, Doc Gina. So yung ating Draw Disability Art Contest, no, ito ay sa Sabado na, 1:00 ng hapon, sa Commission on Human Rights. Ito ay para sa mga batang may kapansanan. in celebration of the National Children's Month. Pero
Wow.
DJ, Sir
Oh.
Dante, meron kaming activity, no, in celebration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Si
Okay.
Dr. Alexis Reyes ay magbabahagi ng iba't ibang researches, no, on the comorbidity of Down syndrome in the Philippines. Ito naman ay sa December 2, Saturday, 1:30 to 4 p.m. So inanyayahan namin no ang gustong makinig no kay Dr. Alexis Reyes. Siya ang pinakaunang developmental pediatrician sa Pilipinas. So
Okay.
maraming salamat, Inclinasyon, Sir Ronel, Sir Dandy, yung ating mga technical, kay Doc Gina, kay
Thank you.
Mr. Aisel,
Welcome.
kay JM, kay Ina. Yan, no, pinoproject nila ngayon no, ang patungkol sa aming activity in celebration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Maraming salamat po.
And
Ito
meron
pa.
din tayo to continue, Caronel.
Yeah.
Sandali lang
Go
to.
ahead.
A review of selected researches on medical comorbidities of Down syndrome in the Philippines. Tapos meron din po tayong inaanyayahan din nila tayo na makilahok sa December 10, 2023 sa Orani, Bataan, KSK Kasama-sama Ka. Yon. Also, we wanted to thank Miss Delfina J. Bakir, Information, Education and Communication Division, or IECD o ICRPC, for providing us yung video clips na ipinakita natin.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Doc Gina. At ito pa, Sir Dandy. Hindi na ngayon choppy ka, Doc Gina. Sir Dandy, hindi na ngayon totoo na hindi nanonood ng sine ang bulag. Dahil sa December 2 ay sa pamagitan ng SM Mega Mall, pakitext, choppy ka, Doc Gina, choppy. Okay, JM, can you advise Doc Gina na choppy siya advice? Okay. So Sir Dandy, as we were saying bago yung choppy messages ni Doc Gina, ang Project Adam ay magkakaroon ng film showing libre sa mga bulag at mga kaibigan po sa December 2, alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 11 ng umaga sa SM Mega Mall Cinema 4. Ito po ang launching ng Project Adam or Audio Describe Advocacy Movement. At ito po ay mangyayari sa SM Mega Mall Cinema 4. So lahat po ng Filipinos with visual impairments and their families at saka yung with print disabilities are invited para manood po dito sa film showing na gagawin po sa SM Mega Mall with audio description. And of course, NCDA is also invited. Please grace the occasion sa Sabado po, December 2, alas 8, dyan sa SM Cinema 4 sa Mega Mall. Okay, naku, ang daming activities, nakakatuwa. At ngayong hapon po ay namalas natin ang isang bukas na talakayan sa pamamagitan ng isang taong, sabi ko nga ay rose from the ranks. Nagmula sa loob, naintindihan ang sinasabi, alam ang dapat gawin, at sana po'y magpatuloy at bigyan siya ng Panginoon ng sapat na panahon para maisagawa ang kanyang mga magagandang hangarin po para sa Filipinos with disabilities. At hangad po ng inklinasyon na ang inyong termino ay maging makahulugan, makabuluhan, at centered to Filipinos with disabilities. Sa ngalan po ng buong inklinasyon, ang amin pong taos-pusong pagbati sa inyong katungkulan at ang pagtitiwala namin na ang inyong intensyon ay masasalin sa magagandang mga programa, gaano man ito kaliit ay magiging significant sa paghahangad ng Pilipinong may kapansanan para maging kabahagi ng lipunang Pilipino. Ito po si DJ Ronnie sa ngalan ng buong pangkat na inklinasyon nagsasabing, don't forget to smile, don't forget to count your blessings, at inklusyon,
Now na.
now na.